These, so Kriya is one, Hatha Yoga is another, Mudras are a third. So what if you don't have the time to do all this, or you don't have the inclination to do all this? Is there no hope for you? You are stuck in samsara. So there are multiple things. The most famous is develop the devotional aspect, develop bhakti. Develop bhakti to a God, to an aspect of God. Develop bhakti to a guru. And through that devotion, certain things begin falling away from your life. Because whenever you have bhakti, it is always to a larger aspect of consciousness. It is a larger aspect. Now, how you choose your Ishta Devta, now many people have Kula Devtas and things like that, which is fine. That is your familial karma. But your individual karma has nothing to do with your Kula Devta most of the time. So you have to figure out what aspect of God vibrates with you and for what reason. Because the God we worship is the God we deserve. Yeah? So you need to figure out what do I want to change about myself. So which kind of God, which aspect of God, all those things become. So the whole Morti puja business is very complex. I'll get into that sometime. About Morti puja because is the Morti sitting, is the Morti standing, is the Morti lying? वो कौन से मुद्रा पे हैं हाथ, कितने हाथ हैं? All those things matter because they all have certain different impacts on your consciousness. They all have certain different. There is a whole technique of worshipping a murti. Don't call it an idol because that is not the word. A murti is a symbol of an aspect of consciousness. So always call it murti. Never call it idol or image or whatever. Use the right word for it. The word for it is murti. But there is a technique to use a murti to transform yourself. There is a technique to use a murti to break that, which most people don't. Now, you can go to a guru if the guru is an enlightened master and you really, really have faith, you can just take your karma and make an offering to him. Or you can offer to your God. Or you can offer in a sacred place, pilgrim spots, sacred spots. Either the natural vibration of the earth is very positive or some great spiritual people have meditated there and the karmic residue is there. Most cases it is not because of the natural vibration, it's because somebody meditated. And instantly if you are anywhere remotely awakened, you go to a spot like that, you can make out, is this natural earth energy or is this because somebody has meditated? And then there are, you can manufacture it. You can manufacture a positive energy space. And that is a temple. A temple is a space where energy is manufactured to be positive. Where you go in there and your entire internal energy system is given a wash and a cleanse and it's raised. That again, when I talk on temples, I talk. Temple is actually a technology. Temple is actually a tool to transform consciousness. Now we have lost all that knowledge, so it's just become a place to go and take prasad and give dakshina. But that was not the reason for a temple. A temple was an energy input device. It was an energy input for people who are busy, could not practice. They would go and sit in the temple. They would get that. So sacred places, pilgrims, surrendering to a guru. Now surrender is something that is well prescribed, but it's actually very difficult. To surrender to God, to surrender to Guru, to surrender to the universe. Yes, it's awesome if you can really sincerely do it. Surrender has this big problem with it that once you say you have surrendered, after that you are not allowed to complain about anything whatsoever. Because you have said, I have stopped taking responsibility for my life. I am incapable of controlling my life. Given my ability, I can't do what is best for myself. So I am surrendering to a higher wisdom, to a higher power. Uske baad, no complaints are allowed. No desires are also allowed. Whatever happens is the best thing. So people keep talking about surrender and I'm like, don't use that word. Don't use that word because you don't know what you're talking about. It's very rare to find somebody who has genuinely, completely surrendered. Most people, the surrender is passion. Which is why it is better to have a relationship with an aspect of God, because we have very flexible culture. You can scold God also. You can have God as father, as mother, as brother, as child. It does not matter. You can have God in any aspect. as friend, yeah, you can interact in the manner you feel comfortable, and if you want to scold and abuse, you can do that also. No problem. You can even be an enemy to God. Yeah, it is called the Viparita Karmi, the opposing path, the enemy path. You can actually say, you are a bloody nuisance, I am opposed to you, and then your entire consciousness is locked full time on him only. People like Ravana, all the Asuras, they do the Viparita Karmi. They actually think more of God than most people do. In a negative sense. So in the end you die. In the end you die because that is the price you pay. You're taking that rocket path. But that is also, it's not a recommended path, but it is still a valid path. Still a valid path. It can be done. You can even become an, if you cannot love God, then hate God. Even that will work. The idea is to connect to the larger consciousness. The idea is to connect to the larger consciousness. Then there are easier or there are sort of simpler ways. You can say that whatever action you take, you are doing it for the larger purpose. You are doing it, you are dedicating. You are consecrating it to God. Whatever action you take, you are saying, I am giving this, I am offering it to God, I am offering it to the universe. That is actually very powerful. If you can consciously develop that aspect, that whatever I am doing, I am offering. I am offering. I am offering. I am offering. Very soon your consciousness starts shifting very significantly. Very soon your life starts shifting significantly. Again, most of the time we cannot do that. We make to dedicate your entire life to the larger consciousness, to dedicate your entire life to the universe. And I don't mean that you stop doing what you're doing, but don't do it for your own selfish reasons. Whatever actions I am doing, I am now doing for the larger cosmos. I am doing for the benefit of myself, my family, my society, country, even my university. And automatically, if that becomes second nature to you, automatically you will not do anything that is harmful. Automatically you will not do anything that is, if your whole life is a dedication. So you can continue doing everything that you have been doing. You can just live in a very normal manner, but because of the fact that every action that you take has now been dedicated, it is hugely transformative. And the karma, the stickiness of karma, the activation of karma starts dying on its own. It's a very powerful technique. The only issue with it is that it requires awareness. It requires awareness all the time. But awareness is good. Why not have awareness all the time?